Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Shadow. Say hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hey everyone.
So, what do we have going on this week? Well, we are just 1 week away from the big update, and oh my, as a team at Facepunch doing a whole bunch of quality of life. If you're looking at QOL, I'm like, what does qual mean? It's quality of life. And that is the name of the game. Well, of course, the name of the game is still Rust, but man, the team is trucking on a bunch of changes. And it looks like a majority of them, if not all, are coming in the update next week. So, as always, we are going to go through what is going on in Rust development. First and foremost, though, happy Thanksgiving to everyone who is out there and celebrating that. I guess happy Thanksgiving, even if you don't celebrate it. But over here on this side of the pond, I got some turkey to eat today. And so I don't know if we're going to do a full hour today, but let's play it by ear. Nevertheless, I do want to say I am so thankful for each and every one of you and for this space and for this game and for Face Punch. Like, honestly, this has been a huge part of the last 10 years of my life. And it's weird to have such a, like, to have a video game be such a large part of your life. But it really is. And I just have such a fondness in my heart for this entire space. And it's weird. And I know like people are toxic and it's all this and all that, but you know what? I love it all. I love it all. It is so special to me. And you are all so special to me. So thank you. Much love to you and all of you and to your families. And during this holiday season, everything, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful holidays and all that stuff. Okay, enough sentimental stuff aside, though. Let's get into it. Also, Charitable Rust was last week. We raised well over $120,000 so far for World Central Kitchen. We are so close. It looks like we will break the $1 million cumulative raised on Charitable Rust over the last 8 years. But if you have not already, please do while you still can. Go check out the 4 skins on the item store. The proceeds of those do go towards this amazing cause. And these skins can only be gotten the week of Charitable Rust. And literally, the item store is going to update in an hour or two. And you will never be able to get these skins again. Most important, first of its kind, a sheet metal double door with transparent windows. Oh, and it looks awesome too. But there's the great box, there's the chef hoodie, and there's the awesome SAR skin as well. These items are going away, and if you don't get them in the next hour or two, literally you can never get them again. They're not tradable, not marketable, and the proceeds of the sales go towards World Central Kitchen, feeding people most in need around the world. And on a day like Thanksgiving, what a great cause to support. And a huge thank you to everyone who participated, who donated, who supported, who did anything around Charitable Rust this year. It was an amazing event. The skin sales are still going on, so we won't know exactly how much we raised for a little while because the skin sales are they fluctuate and we get estimates, but there's this whole thing around that. So we'll have some exact numbers in a couple weeks and all that good stuff. But it was a resounding success. And thank you all so much to everyone who participated. And a special shout out to Face Punch and to Earn and Alistair, especially at Face Punch. They did an amazing job working with us to prep all this and get it going. And then also, they've been amazing on the socials all week and everything, promoting this event and really helping have this be one of the biggest years yet. So thank you, Earn. Thank you, Alistair. Thank you, everyone at Face Punch, for your support. Like, we literally couldn't have the impact that we do without that support. So awesome. Okay, let's get into this quality of life stuff. What do we have going on? Well, the team just the other week asked the community on Twitter and on Reddit. They said, okay, if you wanted some changes, what would they be in the game? And Facepunch has done this in the past and reached out to the community, asked, what do you want? And then made a ton of changes. And it's time to do that again as we almost come close to ringing in the new year. We are going to be ringing in December some huge changes to progression, to rating, to balance, and the like. So let's get into it. I'm going to read through. As always, this stuff is on rustafied.com. We do an article every week, first thing Thursday Eastern time. That article goes live and summarizes everything going on in Rust development. So if you want to follow along or reference later, do go to rustified.com. Also, while you're there, make sure to check out the acknowledgement post earlier in the week. If you just scroll down all the way on rustified.com, you can see all the acknowledgments and all the stuff around charitable Rust, which, once again, huge success, awesome work, everybody. So, in the quality of life realm, all these changes are taking place. It looks like the majority of them are merged into staging now. As always, if you have questions as we're going through this stuff, feel free to do @shadow_rustified in chat. And we will try to test the things that we're able to and we have time to test. But also keep in mind, this stuff is not live in the game yet. It is looking like it's going to go live in the update next week, December 1st, which will be the forced wipe for the month. That is expected at 2 p.m. EST, so like a week and an hour from now. Oh shit! And real quick, servers wiping today. It's the weekly Thursday wipe servers, and with Rustified servers, they wipe at the regular scheduled time, local time for the region, which is 5 p.m. local time for the region. That means EU wiped an hour ago, AUSEA 11, 12 hours ago. BR wipes in 3 hours, and in just under 4 hours, we'll have the US servers wipe, US main, small, Baron, Zen Labs. Once again, the weekly Thursday wipe servers, map wipes only, because next week we've got the forced wipe. So let's get into this quality of life finally. First and foremost, we got progression balance. These are some things coming in that are really going to potentially shift the speed at which people move forward progression wise in the game. First and foremost, we got reduced underwater labs on the map from 3 to 1. So there will just be one underwater lab on the map going forward. Also, the reset times for oil rigs has been increased. So you're going to be able to go to them less. They will reset less often. Same thing with cargo ship. It's going to happen less frequently. So we're going to see less cargo ships going around. We've also got some loot tweaks to the heli crate. And that is a couple things. They've removed the single oh, Jesus, God, MLRS rocket. There we go. I haven't
There
even
it is.
started drinking
Yeah.
yet today. Shit. But
Merry Christmas.
thank you. Yeah. They removed the MLRS rocket, and basically there was a single one that would spawn. Now there's a chance that it will spawn with the rocket ammo collection instead. Also, they removed the chance of one low end detachment spawning in the loot, and they reduced the chance of lower tier weapon spawns in the heli loot. And finally, in the heli loot, they removed the chance of getting a single laptop slash CCTV and adjusted loot chances there. So basically just modifying the loot crates around, and we can see Artemis here opening up some of those loot crates so you can get some examples of what the new loot is looking like. Also, they removed the stone spear from elite and hackable crates, so you're not going to get that crappy spear in those nice crates anymore. They also did an initial pass on switching quarries and pump jacks to diesel fuel, and in doing that, adjusted the output and production rates. And these are all subject to change, just like all this is subject to change. But now the quarries and pump jacks will use diesel fuel instead. And that's an interesting one. Now, with that as well, just a couple hours ago, we saw they added diesel spawns to water treatment plant, power plant, military tons, junkyard, and airfield. So you're going to find more diesel around. You're actually going to have a use for it as well now. So that's cool. They also did some storage increases. This is not surprising given the amount of storage increases we have seen over the past several months to various items in the game, starting, of course, with the large and small wood box. Now, what we've got in the realm of storage increases this week is the hot air balloon storage has gone from 12 to 18, boat storage 12 to 18, rib storage from 30 to 36, and submarine storage increase from 12 to 18. So those are the storage increases. Now, also, that's in the realm of progression balance. We've also got some changes to rating balance. Specifically, armored door and double armored door have been buffed from 800 HP to 1000 HP. And what that means is instead of, what was it, 2C4, it's 3 now, right?
That's it. Yep.
And it was 4 rockets and now it's 5, correct?
That's it. Yep.
Cool. So it's going to be harder to get through the armored doors, both the single and double armored door. There's also an initial pass, and this is a really interesting one on external wall and gate debris blockers. So basically, when a wall comes down, those debris or the jibs or whatever are actually going to stay there for a bit. And not only will they stay there, they will block building there. So the initial pass looks like external wall debris despawn times is going to be 120 seconds. And so that looks like there might be 2 minutes where people won't be able to rebuild the wall and it'll be open. So that's an interesting change to rating indeed. Also, the despawn time of many items has been up to get this 60 minutes. So if you're doing an online raid, you come through and everyone in there knows they're screwed and they just start throwing stuff on the ground. Well, you will have now 60 minutes to get at that stuff before it despawns. An interesting change indeed. Also, they fixed the ability to hit a wall in a weak spot when the floor or stairs is in the way. So there are like these couple instances where you could get through and get at these weak spots, and they're tying those up, including with preventing hitting weak spot of an exposed sidewall when a roof is attached to it. Now, this we did test, and it seems like it might still be in play a bit, but with that, keep in mind this is subject to change. It's all still a work in progress on the staging branch. So we might see some tweaks and everything between now and when this goes live next week. So do take it with a grain of salt. Now, we also have a whole huge slew of general quality of life stuff. And I'll run through them. External walls and gates can now be rotated 90 degrees instead of 180 degrees before deployment. They're got a work in progress on adding code locks to be the lock for cars instead of key locks. So it looks like cars will soon, if not as early as next week, have code locks as an option to lock them up, which is awesome. That's so much better than freaking keys. Also, they remove condition from most electrical entities, so they stack easily when picked up. This doesn't apply to batteries, solar panels, windmills, turrets, etc., but a lot of these smaller electrical entities don't lose condition, and you will be able to manage them a lot easier. The garage door no longer requires a hammer to be equipped to pick up. You still need building auth and the lock removed to be in line with the doors, but you don't need the hammer anymore. The rowboat now dismounts the player if it's inverted, even if it's not clipping into anything. So basically, if that rowboat flips over, you're just going to automatically come out of it instead of just being mounted upside down like is currently the case. They also are now allowing rotation of roofs before placement. That's awesome. They also are keeping the authorized UI open when authorizing players on a turret to make it easier for people. They changed the building block message to tell a player when they're trying to build on a building they don't own the TC on. So being more specific when you're building blocked, instead of just building blocked, it's going to like give you some more insight into why that is the case. Also, they've got some new wire colors as well. There's a light blue, orange, pink, purple, and white wire color. And if you've got some existing electrical stuff and you want to change the color of the wires, you can do that by pressing R on the input output of the wire. And then you can actually change the color of the wires already deployed. You can also right click armor into a locker and have it go to the first free row. Also, when you've got upkeep greater than 72 hours on a base, it will now just show X days instead of just greater than 72 hours. So that's cool. You can see specifically how many days you have instead of just more than 3. Also, we've got added radial option to the harvest, clone, clear of all plants in the planter. This basically will allow you to take action to all valid plants in a planter. So like if 2 of 9 of the plants are harvestable, and you're using harvest all, it will only harvest the 2 plants that are harvestable, if that makes sense. Also, they've added a different, slightly darker material to the hemp ripe stage, so it looks different to the fruiting stage. And they made custom icons for each of the berry clones to better differentiate each color. The flashlight held entity can now be toggled off. It uses the same light, same key as the flashlight attachment to toggle. The SAM site can use pass-through power. This is to detect destroyed SAM sites, not power multiple ones, but that's a nice little addition there. The stone spear is going to be cheaper to craft, and the crafting time of it has been reduced. They removed the chair static from Tunnel E-Dwelling. This fixes chairs linking into the world origin. That was just a little fix thing. And the miner hat now offers better protection values, so you're going to be safer when in the miner hat. Now, believe it or not, that's not even the end of it. We also have a number of fixes coming in the realm of this quality of life stuff. So we got fixed doorways, door frames, and windows snapping to the floor rather than the top of the walls when building jump ups. That's nice. Fixed right clicking into repair bench, not swapping items. Fixed button so that passes through full power for zero point 0.5 seconds when connected in pass through mode. Fixed bouncing off wall frames when climbing up and down netting by adding a block player movement thing. So just making that movement a little smoother. They fixed getting stuck on the top of netting placed in wall frames. They also fixed player name label not showing when obscured by snowman headwear, pumpkin headwear, nomad suit, backpack, etc. They fixed progress bar being stuck on output of items when switching between large and small furnace. They fixed crude oil having cooking icons stuck when removed from the refinery. They fixed baseball bat not available in loot tables. They fixed some deploy bullshit and some other UI stuff. I'm losing the thread of this long list, but that's basically it. And once again, rustified.com if you want to see the full list, and we're going to be updating that over this coming week. And then of course on next Thursday we're going to have a full summary of everything going on coming in the update, and it looks like that will indeed be a very long list. But that should do it. Also in the realm of other stuff, it looks like there's some more work on weapon racks. So that was part of the hack week stuff, but it looks like weapon racks are likely going to make it into the game some point soon, maybe even as soon as next week. There's also a static caboose being added to the outpost, or compound as some people refer to it. And that's going to be just some gambling options, some blackjack options in the caboose in a safe zone. So that's nice. And then finally, we got some more work on the Xmas 2022 event, which is coming probably mid-December sometime. I don't expect the Xmas stuff to go live with the December 1 update, but probably 2 to 3 weeks after that, we'll see another mandatory update that doesn't force a wipe, but does turn on the Xmas 22 event. And it looks like there's going to be a number of new things coming in that Xmas event. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. And you better believe on rustified.com, the week that the Xmas event is coming, we're going to have a full write-up and summary of everything you need to know as a player about this year's Xmas event. But woo, that about does it for the initial go through of all these quality of life changes. What do we want to test, or what questions do we have from the audience?
We don't have a lot, but when's WIP?
WIP is at regular scheduled time today, which is 5 p.m. local time for the region. This is for Rustified servers only. Go to rustified.com/discord, and you can check out in there not only the map wipe time specific to your time zone, but also you can see the map seeds before wipes. And if you get there soon enough, you can vote on what map seed you want and have actually a say in what the map is on whatever server you're playing on. So definitely check out our Discord. There's also great ways to report in there and get support, all that good stuff. But the wipes are at 5 p.m. local time for the region. That means EU already wiped an hour and 18 minutes ago. That's EU main, EUS, small, Baron, Zen Labs. And then we had AUSEA wipe like 11, 12 hours ago. BR is going to wipe in just about 2.5 hours. And then at 5 p.m. EST, we're going to have the US servers wipe. That's US main, small, Baron, and Zen Labs. These are map wipes only today, as next week, 1 week from today, we will have the big update on December 1st and see a lot of these changes coming, and that will force a map wipe. And Rustified servers, with the exception of medium threes, will wipe blueprints as well to give you some full fresh wipe action going into this holiday season.
Can you do an FPS update or optimize Rust, please?
Yeah, so we are not the developers of the game. We're just fans of the game like you who love reporting on development news and running the best servers that we can. And so from that standpoint, we're not on the Face Punch payroll. We don't have any say over development of the game. I do feel where you're coming from. We could always use some optimizations and stuff like that. And that is a ever flowing ebb and flow type of thing where some months optimization's better than others and things like that. But yeah, we are just an independent operation who just reports on this development news. We don't really have any say over the development. But with that, a huge thank you to our entire audience, because we only can do this through the support of you guys. So if you're tuning in to watch, if you throw some bitch bits, let me be clear. If you throw some bits or subscribe on Twitch, or to our wonderful, beautiful VIP customers, thank you all so much. It's only through the support of the community that we're able to show up every week and do this and run the servers that we do and run the charity events that we do every year, raising now it looks like close to or over $1 million cumulatively over the past 8 years for various charities. So really just thank you all. And especially on a day like today, Thanksgiving, I really do thank all of you for the support.
So about the quality of life update, when is this update going live?
This is going live 1 week from today, from the looks of it, and that is December 1. And as always, how this kind of works is they develop throughout the month, and then on the first Thursday of every new month, we see the forced wipe and update go live. The next update, or the next first Thursday, is indeed just the first of the month. So that's right, 1 week from today, December 1 at 2 p.m. EST. I believe that's 7 p.m. GMT now.
That's right, yep.
And yeah, that's when the update will go live. And we'll be back next week at 1 p.m. EST to do like an hour stream and show everything you need to know about the update, test things you might have questions for, everything last minute before this update does go live. So definitely follow us and tune in again next week at 1 p.m. EST.
Do you think they will add back the old recoil?
No, I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think either. The wall rugs that get left behind has an HP bar. Can you break it to rebuild faster?
You can indeed, yep. At the moment, it looks like the best way would be the Jackie, and you can rebuild if you break it. Yeah, it's got 300 HP.
Cool. That's a nice little new interesting thing.
Does removing the garage door lose HP?
It does, yeah, as usual.
Does Rustafied region lock their servers? And if no, why not?
We do not region lock our servers, and we don't do that. We did explore that for a while, and we've gotten a number of requests for it. But the fact of the matter is, region locking is just a little kind of very easily passable thing. Anyone who's, especially in a region that is prone to being region blocked, is going to know what a VPN is. And we have certain things with VPN. And what we do is we do whitelisting in certain instances, but we don't just flat out block regions because honestly, I just don't think that's fair to a lot of people in those regions. So that's where I land on it. I think it's ineffective and unfair.
Can we test the new car logs, or that's not yet in game?
Let's see.
Yeah, they're not in at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The codes.
Yeah, didn't get, that's still a work in progress thing, but I do get the sense they're shooting to make it in for next week. So we'll definitely try to test that next week.
Was it said how often cargo ship would spawn, and will the attack heli also be less often?
I only saw changes to the loot spawns of attack heli. I didn't see changes to the amount of time in between each attack heli thing. But yeah, the cargo ship is less frequent and the reset timer on oil rigs is greater. These specific times of that I do not have available right now. We'll look at getting that for next week, but with a lot of this stuff, it's so in flux. And so we try not to use too many specifics while it's still in progress, because I've learned over the years, if I use this specific now and it changes, then people are upset. And it's just easier to kind of be broad as we're still in the development phase of all this stuff. And then once we're closer to the actual update, we'll try to nail down some more specifics for you.
Yeah, so true. I see people notice that when I use C4, there was the block wasn't deployed, but it just could be that it's a work in progress. So I would jump to the conclusion that it will only happen with rockets.
Yeah, yeah, and those debris especially is a very brand new thing, and it's just we're looking at the initial version of it in testing mode. So take all this with a grain of salt.
One sec. Was it said how? Oh, I already took that. Hold on. Can you go over the wall replacement again?
Yeah, so basically how it's looking is they've added this initial pass on external wall and gate debris blockers. And so what that's going to do is prevent spamming of new walls down during raids. This is also applied to ice walls. And so when a wall is destroyed now, it's doing these debris, and these debris block building. And it looks like it's going to be 120 seconds that this debris will stay there. But also, as Artemis was saying, that debris can be broken with a jackhammer, correct?
That's it. Yeah.
And 300 HP per piece. Is that what we saw?
That's right.
And now keep in mind, initial implementation, all subject to change, but as you see this wall go down and you see that debris there, that will block the placement of new walls until it's removed. Now, it is, of
As you
course,
can
not
see.
working
No,
now,
You
but
see
there
it
we
work,
go.
but we saw
Yeah.
it once. What more do you
But
want?
we saw it once, and then we keep in mind this is a work in progress, subject to change, initial implementation, all that good stuff.
Just to prove what we're saying. Yep.
Yeah.
Is all this stuff on staging branch?
At the moment, yes, we are on the latest build of staging branch.
You'll
Has
put
there
some new
been
ones
an?
down. Oops, sorry, Shadow.
No, it's all good. Do you want to say something?
No, I'm just going to put some new walls down, see if they want to treat us a bit nicer.
Okay. Has there been any update on a fake Russian servers?
That is something that is always kind of like the hacker situation. That's always this ebb and flow. Unfortunately, we have no control over fake servers as well as we're not developers. You know, we're just fans of the game like you all. But I do know Facepunch blacklists and bans hundreds, if not thousands, of servers every week. They do a number of different things to try to prevent that. And of course, we still see a lot of those fake Russian servers, and it's this like cat and mouse back and forth thing. I do hope at some point there will be a better solution, maybe like an automated thing that they implement. But as it stands now, I haven't really heard of any new developments around that. I just know that Facepunch does every freaking day ban a huge number of these fake servers, and then they just switch IPs and put them back up, and it's this cat and mouse back and forth.
If you guys at Rustafied could change / add or remove one thing from Rust, what would it be?
Well, as it stands right now, as a server owner, this AI getting screwed up is really an issue. And what's happening if you're unfamiliar, basically these AI elements, the NPCs spawn around the map, and sometimes they spawn underneath the map itself, and that starts blowing errors when they try to think or move. And if that happens in certain instances, then the whole server freaking crashes. Now, this is not a issue necessarily just with the game. It looks like this is an issue with the underlying engine that runs the game, which is Unity, which of course is also still in development itself and has been for years. And so I hope the devs are, I believe they are looking at updating to a newer version of Unity, and hopefully that AI issue is fixed within there. But man, if I had one thing that could change, it would just be fixing that AI. And then honestly, on top of that, I would love to just see more optimizations in the game. I think the game is awesome as is, but I think so many people around the world would love to play it and can't because it's just not optimized well enough. And I know this is an ebb and flow thing, but I would love to see the game better optimized such that more and more people could play it. What do you guys think? Yeah, and I do love seeing them ask the community what changes they want, And then like look at this huge list. And these are pretty much all community suggestions, I believe, and they're just going through and doing them. So yeah.
Let me see what we have here. Do we know how much one diesel barrel generates at a quarry?
No, we don't have numbers on that yet because the actual diesel use and everything is still a work in progress. Like the initial implementation came in, but it is still, as noted by the devs, a work in progress. So this is like another thing that it doesn't really make sense for us to get numbers right now because they're very likely going to change between now and next week when they go live. But as we are gathering, as our team is gathering the information for the article next week, I will instruct them specifically to try to test some of these things and get some of these core numbers for you all so that you have a better sense of what the yields are going to be and what specific stats are going to be.
Can you talk about the recall briefly? How has it changed and impacted the game? I'm new, but I hear it brought up very often.
So yeah, a couple months ago they did this huge PvP update, and with that they changed the recoil on pretty much every weapon in the game. Now, before that point, each gun had a very particular recoil pattern that could be learned and replicated such that if you hold down your mouse button and start full autoing and then you do a certain pattern with your mouse, you could reliably learn that pattern and get a very like on point spray. But the learning curve for those things was long. In fact, people spent hundreds and thousands of hours learning the recoil patterns for different guns and getting the muscle memory in such that on the fly at any point they could just whip on and get like a solid on point spray. That learning curve was a little much, I think, that the devs didn't want everyone to have to learn it if they're new to the game. So what they did was they simplified the recoil patterns across the board. They added some kind of RNG of sorts back and forth so that the recoil isn't exactly going to be the same every time, but it's still each weapon still follows an overall general recoil pattern, like up and to the left or things like that. So they simplified the learning curve for the recoil in changing the recoil and adding a little RNG into it. So it's easier for people to get it's kind of like more like COD recoil than than it was before. And that's kind of the overall change with the recoil. And some people love it, some people hate it. Honestly, if I was one of the people who spent 1,000 hours aim training with the AK to get my muscle memory down to learn the exact pattern at any point in the darkness for, you know, a perfect recoil pattern like some people did, I'd be pretty pissed if they changed it. But I I so I understand where people who don't like it are coming from, but also, you know, I understand where the devs are coming from and making this game more accessible and lowering that learning curve for new people joining. So, but that's the overall. I hope that makes sense. And did I miss anything with that or mishit anything in my description there, guys?
No, I think you got it pretty well there.
Cool.
Let's do a recap. And also, if you have questions, to add shadow_Rustafied so I see them better in chat.
All right, awesome. We're going to do a little recap decap here. First and foremost, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you celebrate it or if you don't, it is a day over here in the States to give thanks. Irony being like this is a day where we're celebrating like the mass extinction of an indigenous people, but we like to just overeat a bunch of turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes. And honestly, it is like my favorite meal of the year, but it's also a great time to sit back and get present to just thanks and gratitude. And sitting in that space today, I am so present to how thankful and how much gratitude I have to this game, to the people in this space, to Face Punch, to my team at Rustafied. And so I did just want to take a moment and say thank you all and much love to you all. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful holiday season. And just thank you so much for the support and for tuning in and for all that stuff. And know that I'm going to keep doing this as long as they're updating the game. I'm going to be here every week writing about what updates they're doing. I'm going to be here every month giving you a preview of what's coming in the updates. And I really am so honored and thrilled with what we've built over the years. And thank you for being a part of it. And with that, just last week, we had our 8th annual Charitable Rust event. We raised over $120,000 so far for World Central Kitchen, literally bringing meals to those who need it the most around the world. And like, that's something in this space. It's incredible to me that we can galvanize. It's known as such a toxic space and everything, but nevertheless, we galvanize and have raised around $1 million for charities, uh, feeding people around the world, building schools. We built 8 schools in South America the other year. We've provided fresh water to thousands of people in many communities over Southeast Asia. We've helped people get mental health care they need. We've helped people on the front lines of disaster. And really, the impact that we've had over the years is unmeasurable. We can never know the full extent of the people that we've impacted around the world, but I am clear we have positively impacted the lives of tens of thousands, if not more, people through just generosity and charitable rust. And to know that this space does that is just, it just really warms my heart. So thank you everyone who participated in charitable rust last week. The skin sales are still going for another little while. So if you haven't picked up your exclusive 4 skins on the item store, please do. There's the first ever of its kind sheet metal double door with transparent windows, and it has great utility, and the proceeds of all these sales go towards this amazing cause as well. We're going to have some final numbers in a couple weeks once the skin sales have really settled down and Steam disperses the funds and everything. But one thing is clear, we have raised a ton of money for an amazing cause, and a huge thank you to everyone who has supported that. You can check out my acknowledgement post on rustafied.com. If you scroll down to my second post, it was posted on Tuesday. We go through all the impact that everyone had and all that good stuff. And within that, I'm also supposed to mention that if you participated in any of the things like uh, talent show or the vomit comet or any type of in-game event that had a prize related to it, go to the Charitable Rust Discord, charitablерust.com/Discord, and in the winners channel, there's all the information. So if you participated, make sure to go to the winners channel to be able to claim your prizes and all that good stuff. But that is that. We've got quality of life going like crazy. It is 1 week from the update. December 1st is when the next update is going to be. And wow, it seems like the dev team is really prioritizing just quality of life, balance, progression, all this stuff. They reached out to the community and asked, hey, what would you like to see changed in the game? And then they got on point and started making all these insane changes. Not insane, but like pretty drastic changes based on what people want, and just really looking at improving the quality of life for the player base. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention Rust is on sale too. So you can save 33% on Rust and on the DLCs. So if you've got a friend who's looking to get into Rust or whatever, now's a great time to buy them a copy of the game at a discounted rate. And it supports these awesome developers who for years and years, every week have come through and worked tirelessly to add to the game. So let's support them. But let's go in also as a recapity cap to some of this quality of life stuff we're seeing. First and foremost, we've got progression balance. They have reduced the number of underwater labs on the map from 3 to 1. So there's 1 underwater lab going forward on each map. Also, they increased the oil rigs reset timers, so they're going to reset less often. Also, the cargo ship is going to happen less often as well. So less cargo ships, higher reset time on oil rigs. The heli crate loot has been tweaked as well. The MLRS rocket that could have spawned has been removed, but now added to spawn chance with the rocket ammo collection instead. That's just kind of like a loot table thing, how that works. Also, they removed the chance of 1 low-end attachment loot spawn. They reduced the chance of lower-tier weapon spawns, and they removed the chance of getting a single laptop or CCTV and adjusted the loot accordingly. So basically, it looks like they're improving or buffing the loot of the heli crates. Also, they removed the stone spear from elite and hackable crates. That's good. They did an initial pass on switching quarries and pump jacks to diesel fuel and adjusted the output and production rates accordingly. All these values are subject to change. They specifically said that. So we're not doing any final tests this week, but we will try to get some numbers for you as we go into next week, and those numbers should be more finalized. But with that diesel change, quarries and pump jacks using diesel fuel, they did add diesel spawns to water treatment, power plant, military tons, junkyard, and airfield. Also, in line with the other storage increases we've seen in previous weeks and months, now they've increased the storage of hot air balloons, boat, rib, and submarine storage. So hot air balloon from 12 to 18 slots, boat from 12 to 18, rib from 30 to 36, and submarine storage from 12 to 18 as well. Now, also, they've done a number of things to shift rating balance and everything. So, first and foremost, the armored door and armored double door HP has been buffed from 800 to 1000. So, instead of 2C4 to get through an armored double or door, sorry, I don't know what's happening with my words today, but we'll keep pushing through here. But anyway, instead of 2C4, it's 3C4. Instead of 4 rockets, it's 5. And so it's going to be harder to get through those armored doors. Also, they did an initial pass on external wall and gate debris blockers. So basically, this prevents spamming down of new external walls and gates during raids. It looks like these debris will be there for a default of 120 seconds. So 2 minutes is going to be there. But it is looking like the debris can be removed by jackhammering it away. But it's, yeah.
Sorry, Bugs. Any melee as well, but obviously it just takes a long time with anything else.
Yeah, any melee can do it, but it's going to take longer. So jackhammer is probably the best bet for that. But all this is a work in progress, so subject to change and all that good stuff, of course. Also, the despawn time of many items has been up to 60 minutes. So if there's like an online raid and people are trying to despawn their loot before people get into the loot room, well, that has been up to 60 minutes now, that a lot of higher tier items are going to last on the ground when dropped. Also, they fixed the ability to hit a wall in a weak spot when the floor or stairs is in the way. And they fixed they're working on fixing some other like weak spot little exploits that people are using during raids. Also, we got some more general quality of life stuff coming around. So external walls and gates can be rotated 90 degrees instead of 180 before deployment. There is going to be some code locks on cars. So vehicles will allow for code locks, it looks like, or at least modular cars will allow for code locks instead of the key locks. That's a work in progress, not quite in yet, but I do think it probably will make it in for the update next week. They have removed the condition from most electrical entities so they stack easier. This doesn't apply to batteries, solar panels, windmills, and stuff, but the smaller electrical items should be a lot easier to handle. The garage door no longer requires a hammer to be equipped to pick up the garage door. Rowboat now dismounts if the player gets inverted. So if you flip upside down, you'll just dismount automatically. They allow rotation on roof blocks before placement now. That's awesome. Keeping the authorized UI open while authorizing players on a turret just to make it easier for people. That's cool. They are changing the building block message to tell a player when they are trying to build on a building they don't own the TC on. So just a little more transparency, a little more verbosity when it comes to explaining why your building is blocked. Verbosity, is that even a word? I don't think that's a word. And you know, verbose, but verbosity, is that a word?
It's plausible.
I don't know. It's plausible. Verbosity. Yeah. We'll go with it. We'll see. Probably not a word. Anyway, they also added some new wire colors. Light blue, orange, pink, purple, and white. And you can recolor existing wires if you want by pressing R on the input output of the wire. And then you can apply the selected color, which is pretty cool. Also, you can right click armor into the locker and it'll go into the first free row. And if you got upkeep on a base that's over 72 hours, instead of just saying greater than 72 hours upkeep left, it shows X number of days left, which is cool. They've got some improvements to the planter stuff. So basically, a radial option has been added to harvest, clone, clear all plants in the planter, and that will apply the action to all valid plants. So if you have like 2 of the 9 plants in there are harvestable and you say harvest all, it'll just harvest the 2 affected plants. So just some, well, quality life. That's the name of the game, right? Also, they added a different, slightly darker material to the hemp ripe stage, so it looks different to fruiting. They made custom icons for each berry clone to better differentiate the color. The flashlight held item can be toggled on and off. That uses the same key that the light toggle on the attachment uses, you know. And then we got SAM can pass through power. This is used just to detect destroyed SAM not to power multiple ones. The stone spear is cheaper to craft and it has a lesser crafter time too. And they fixed some other random crap and a bunch of fixes actually. Yeah, I'm going through. There's a bunch of fixes as well. And as always, the stuff is on rustified.com. You can just scroll down and see it's like the article this week is just a big bunch of bullet lists. We tried to split it up as logically as possible, but man, with all the changes they are making, it's a big list regardless of how you slice it. And there's some other stuff too. They're working on weapon racks. It looks like weapon racks probably will make it into the game, even though it was a hack week thing. If you remember from the other weeks, there were this hack week stuff going on, and that was weapon racks, in chat emoji, and airships, right? And the airships was the big one. Like, what the fuck? What is this going to be? Well, I got news for you. The airships are not planned to make it into the game. That was just kind of a hack week kind of trial thing, but it does look like the weapon racks and probably the chat emojis are going to make it into the game at some point next week. I don't know, maybe. We'll keep you posted regardless. Also, they're working on a static caboose being added to the outpost, or aka compound. So you'll be able to, in a safe environment, play some blackjack in the near future. And then finally, we've got more work on the Xmas 2022 event, which of course will be going live mid-December in a mandatory patch that will not force a wipe, but will turn on all this Christmas event stuff. If you've never seen a Rust Christmas before, it's pretty awesome. There are, presents spawning around when you hear jingle bells each day, and you can open the presents or upgrade them to get better, bigger presents. Santa's sleigh goes overhead and drops the airdrop stuff, and it's better loot. And they're working on a whole bunch of new Christmas stuff this year, it looks like. So we will keep you posted on that and have a full write up on rustified.com, of course, mid-December before that goes out. So you as a player know everything you need to know about the Christmas update. But that is what we've got going on so far. Any other questions we want to do before we wind this puppy down and I go to get on some turkey?
We have a few, but we also got raided by Savage Sprinkles, I think his name is.
Oh,
Thank you for
thank
that.
you. Thank you for that raid, brother.
Is the drop still on?
The drops are on for another 2 days. So
I
you
saw
should.
someone saying he didn't get them. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I'm still getting my drops like right now. And you got 2 days to watch any Rust streamer and get those drops.
Is there anything about the weapon racks? You just talked about that, right?
Yeah, and the weapon racks, I'm really excited for it because it looks like you're going to be able to just toss your weapon at them and it'll automatically pick them up and store them. And then also going up to the weapon rack, you'll be able to see the weapons that are in the rack, it looks like. And then you'll be able to just point at one and grab it to equip it instead of having to go into UI stuff. So it looks like the weapon rack could be a really good kind of on the fly, like grab and go type of utility we've never seen before in the game.
Imagine that, but it has like 2k HP.
Yeah.
I might be misunderstanding this question, but I would think it's about. Okay, let me just read it out. Will there be heavy metal walls like the stone and wood? Isn't that like we have armored and metal?
Yeah, we got armored walls, right?
I think I
Yeah,
saw that. I
and
think
metal.
it may have been a reference to the
External.
externals. Yeah.
External. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
got
I
it.
didn't get that right away, but then I was like, oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
talking about external walls. Maybe. I mean, we have external ice walls, right? Like, what the fuck are those? But that was, of course, for a previous Christmas event. But yeah, I could see them having higher quality wall. I don't know. I think it's possible. I've never heard any plans of them doing that, but hey, it's anything's possible, right?
Does the priest update count for all entities like metal base walls, etc.?
At the moment, I believe it's just dealing with high external walls. Is that what we're seeing?
That's right. Yeah, no base walls at the moment, just external for now.
Any updates slash changes in Lightning?
Enlightening, not that I'm aware of.
I think this is the last one. So I'm confused. Is Rustafied independent from Facepunch?
Yeah, Rustified is independent from FacePunch. This is an organization, I'm Bugs, and I started Rustified like 9 years ago. And I just started as a server, just any old server. We started back in Legacy, actually. I tried to do this PvP pants thing. I thought we could switch between PvP and PvE. And if you were wearing your pants, you're like ready to PvP. But then if you're not wearing your pants and you're hanging dong, then you just, there to gather materials and stuff. Let me tell you, spoiler alert, that didn't work. That didn't work. But then when Gary was working on this experimental version, which is of course just the version we all know and love today, uh, the moment he released the server code for anyone to run, that very day I spawned up an AWS instance. I got a server running, and we were one of the first experimental Rust servers running. And then I started reporting on development news and all that stuff, and it all kind of built from there. But it is always been an independent organization. It's something I just started. I came up with Rustified because I was watching Justified, the show with Timothy Olyphant or whatever his name is, and I was like, Rustified, yeah, okay. But yeah, long story short, all independent. We were the first community added to the official list because of the update posts I was doing back in the day. I did an update post every single day because the velocity of development of the experimental version was just so much. So literally, I would wake up every day and start writing an article. And if you scroll back way far on rustified.com, you can see those old articles, and it is cool because it's kind of like this reference of the you know game, like the history of the entire version of the game and when everything was added and stuff. But yeah, long story short, we are just an independent organization. We're not on the FaceBunch payroll, and we're not developers of the game. We are just players like you who love reporting on development news and running the best servers that we possibly can. And in fact, the only way we can do that is through the support of the community. So a huge thank you to everyone who tunes in and watches, to people who throw us bits, to people who subscribe on Twitch, and to our wonderful, beautiful VIP customers. Man, thank you and much love to you all, because it's only through your generosity and support that we're able to show up every week and do what we do here. So thank you.
We're also doing YouTube more, right?
We are doing YouTube more. So if you happen to miss a live stream any week, on Friday, we're premiering the live streams on YouTube so you can watch them easier. I know we have VODs on Twitch, but I don't know about you. It's so much easier to watch YouTube stuff, especially on mobile. So we're putting all that stuff on YouTube if you miss a stream. I'm looking at getting the entirety of Charitable Rust, the 12 and a half hours from last week, on YouTube. I actually have it on YouTube unlisted, but we got a couple copyright strikes because of the talent show, believe it or not. So I'm trying to work through that crap. But yeah, we also have two very talented individuals doing some new content for YouTube as well, and that's ramping up over time. So definitely check us out on YouTube, Rustified Gaming. Check us out on Twitter at Rustified. And basically every week, just rustified.com is the place to go to see development news. And if you have questions or need support from anyone, go to our Discord, rustified.com/Discord, and get some support in there. You can also vote on map seeds for our servers, and we do polls about things we're going to change internally and with our servers, so you can have, really a say in how we grow and change as an organization.
I just saw that Blue Cat said verbosity. It's a real word, Bugs.
It is cool.
Yeah.
Verbosity. I love it. And thank you for confirming that. I might use that. It's hard to find a instance where verbosity is really like the applicable thing to say, isn't it? But man, it's a goodie. Thank you for confirming that, by the way.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, once again, thank you all for tuning in, especially on this day of giving thanks. Man, that sounds lame, but it really is. Like, I just brings this whole thing just brings a smile to my face because I have so much love and gratitude to this whole community and everyone involved. And I know in the background, everyone's like, how could you do that? It's toxic. These people. No, man, I love it all. I love it all. It's been like 9 years I've been doing this, and it's so cool to see this grow and transform into what it has And I'm so excited to see what the future holds for this game and this community. And just once again, much love to you all. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the support. Thank you to everyone who participated in Charitable Rust last week, helping us raise around $1 million cumulatively total over the last 8 years for various charities around the world, literally positively impacting the lives of tens of thousands, if not more people. So awesome work. And thank you, everyone. To my co-MCs, Artemis and Shadow, thank you as always for joining me.
You're welcome, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope you have a great night, evening.
Yep, you're welcome. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yes, and once again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week. Check out rustified.com every week, every Thursday, first thing. We've got a summary and text and pictures of everything you need to know about what's going on in Rust development. And we'll be back next week, same time, same place, to give you a full rundown of what is coming in the update. And that is pretty much exactly 7 days and 5 minutes from now. This update is going live. And while you still can, if it's still even there, make sure, oh no, it's gone. I was going to say go pick up the 4 skins on the item store, but they're gone. But there are new skins on the item store, so go check them out this week and buy them, support the developers and everything. But awesome stuff, everyone. Thank you once again. We're going to wind down. I'm going to go get ready to eat some turkey and just have a good Thanksgiving. And I hope you all do the same. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.